Welcome back to SKS Media. Our special guest today is Ajit Baral, and I'm not going to say too much, but Ajit Dai is going to share his experience with you guys and maybe leave you with a couple of insights. But that being said, Ajit Dai, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So usually हाम्रो podcast चाहिँ कसरी start गर्छौँ भन्दाखेरि सुरुमा चाहिँ for the viewers that might not know you, a quick background दिन्छ, and then from there कुरा गर्न थालौँला.
Sure.
So start गरिदिनु.
So I did my schooling from Siddhartha Banastali, and then I did my +2 as well in Siddhartha Banastali in science. Then I changed my field to do my BBA in business in Bangalore. I was there for 4 years. Then from there I came to US to do my master's MBA. MBA पनि मैले finance and accounting मा concentrate गरेर गरे. अनि then after I got into IT as such, SAP field I entered into SAP field, and since then I have been working for 20 years as a SAP functional consultant. SAP is very vast. My core competency is finance and controlling. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So 20 plus years in SAP.
Yes.
So I feel like त्यो कुरा गर्नलाई we just have to debunk so much.
Yes.
But I guess US र SAP को कुरा गर्ने भन्दा अगाडि पनि let's start अलिकति नेपालबाट है.
Sure.
So where did you grow up अनि how was it like growing up till before you went to Bangalore for school and everything?
Sure. Yeah, so I grew up in Bhairava. खास म चाहिँ भैरवाको हैन. भैरवाको हो. I was my family are from Pokhara, but then they migrated to Bhairava, and then I was born and brought up in Bhairava. And I did my up to 8th grade in Bhairava. Then on 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I went to Kathmandu and in Banastali. I did my high school in Banastali. And Banastali ma science लिएर पढे ISC सम्म. But then I changed my field and I got into business side of it. Right, and business always fascinated me because my father was a businessman, and I always knew about the business and all those. So it always was fascinated to me. So I changed my field into business, and I went to Bangalore. Right, in Bangalore,
so undergrad school.
So I did my 3 years bachelor's in business management and focused on accounting and finance there. Right. And then after my bachelor's, I came back and I thought, I was thinking what to do for next. MBA, should I go back to Bangalore or what do I do? And then त्यतिखेर चाहिँ USCIS भन्ने हुन्थ्यो काठमाडौँमा हैन, अनि USCIS को अफिसमा गएर यहाँको कलेजहरुको बारेमा अलिकता के रिसर्च गर्न थाले मैले हैन. अनि as I researched, I applied to a couple of colleges. And I got accepted in 2 colleges. In fact, one was in Alabama, Troy University, and another was St. Cloud State University in Minnesota. And that's what I chose. And as I did the research, Nepal aएर पढ्दा त it's a lot of expense, right? So St. Cloud को benefit के थियो भने if you do a 40 hours of volunteer works, some cultural works, volunteer works, you get an in-state tuition, which made a huge difference, right? So that was one key part that attracted me. And then I saw there are a lot of Nepalese students going to St. Cloud, and I thought that would be a good college for me to go, right? And then तर म आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ पहिला अन्डरग्रेडमा आएको थिएँ हैन, किनभने we have a 3 years bachelor's back home, right? अनि आउँदाखेरि अन्डरग्रेडमा आए. Then I came and talked with the MBA dean, and then it seems a lot of Indian students are there in the MBA.
यो चाहिँ हजुर नेपालमै हुने बेलामा
हैन, यहाँ आइसकेपछि
हामी यहाँको कुरा गर्ने अगाडि पनि हैन, I have like a couple follow-up questions.
Sure.
So you went in school for science, changed to business, more finance accounting. So let's hear the story behind that. How did you end up choosing science? अनि obviously like a dad पनि business from properly how did you end up deciding going to Bangalore out of all the different places? This was
right. So yeah, science ma I took biology, right? And then I had the interest to do engineering also. तर biology ma math नहुँदो रहेछ हैन. I was thinking I will math नहुँदो रहेछ, math नभएपछि engineering नपाइने रहेछ त्यतिखेर हैन. And that was like okay. And I didn't enjoy biology as much, it was okay. It was a lot of things you don't see, you know, you have to study about a lot of things you don't see, and then impactful देखिनु भन्दा पनि अब त्यो माइक्रोअजम कहाँ के छ त्यो देखिदै देखिदैन. I mean, I know a lot of people are in biology and they are doing great, you know, biotech and all those, but I wanted to see the impact, you know, like so that's where, you know, engineering मा चाहिँ अलिकता impactful हुन्छ होला भने देखिन्छ at least, हैन. Otherwise in biology you learn about so much microism and all those which you don't see in day-to-day life, right? So engineering was another thing I would have done, right? And मेरो math एकदम strong थियो, त्यही भएर म engineering गर्थेँ होला, तर biology मा चाहिँ math नहुँदो रहेछ, so you cannot go to engineering. I thought, and then my dad was always in business. I used to help him and all those. Then I thought, you know, business is a good subject which I want to do, right? And then that's how I ventured. And then
what about business though?
In business,
and like what about business made you go, oh, morning business course, or like business sports?
Right. I think I thought I could make a lot of impacts, you know, by doing business. So मेरो अमेरिका आउने पनि सोच्थेन, नेपालमै बिजनेस गर्छु भन्ने मेरो प्लान थियो, हैन. तर eventually I ended up coming here, which is, you know, you never know what you do, right? So त्यही हो, बुवाको बिजनेसलाई म अझै बढाउँछु भन्ने त्यस्तो प्लान थियो मेरो, हैन. He had a business in Bhairava, and then I had a plan to continue that, but eventually I, you know, like.
So त्यसको लागि चाहिँ you went to Bangalore to study more about business, right?
Yes.
So exactly. How did you end up deciding Bangalore?
Bangalore, अब त्यतिखेर चाहिँ मेरो आइएससी सिद्धिएपछि कति साथीहरू अमेरिका आउने कोसिस पनि गरिरहेको थिए, अमेरिका पनि आइरहेको थिए, हैन. But I thought I want to do my bachelor's here before I go to US, because I knew it's, you know, like it's a lot of struggle for doing a bachelor's and all those. I knew that as well, and I thought Bangalore is a pretty good place, you know, from education. It was an education hub, you know, a lot of international students were there, a lot of, you know, people from different Asian countries were there. So I ended up choosing Bangalore, right? And then I found one of my friends was going as well, so we met up. And त्यतिखेर त अब internet केही हुन्थेन,
थिएन. This is like what time
म Bangalore मा हुँदाखेरि म त्यहाँ गएको चाहिँ 96 97 मा गयो, 97 मा गयो हैन, 97 मा गयो. त्यतिखेर इन्टरनेट हुन्थेन, आफै रिसर्च कनेक्सन गर्नु पर्थ्यो, साथीहरुसँग सोध्नु पर्थ्यो, हैन. अनि त्यसरी जानु पर्थ्यो के. अनि त्यसरी साथीहरु कुरा गरेर त्यहाँ गएर different कलेजहरुमा बुझेर अनि त्यसपछि I ended up joining Tizon College under Bangalore University. And then, you know, I did my 3 years bachelor's there, right? And then after I went there, I found there were like, I don't know, 15-20 Nepalese people in that college.
It is correct.
त्यतिखेर पनि नेपालीहरु थुप्रै जान्थे Bangalore पढ्न, हैन. I mean, I think still today Bangalore is a pretty good education hub, you know, and IT hub and all those. So it was booming at that time. I mean, Bangalore was like very good city, and you know, like I mean, अहिलेसम्मको बसेको सिटीहरुमा Bangalore was like they used to call it AC city, always air conditioned. It's never too hot, it's never too cold. It was always like you are living in an AC, right? So it was beautiful.
Spring autumn time.
It was so nice weather, beautiful place, you know. अब नेपालबाट Bangalore जाँदा त it's a lot organized, lot big city and all those. So it was fun being there, and a lot of Nepalese students.
Yeah. What about schooling? Because my US को थाहा छ अलिकति, नेपाल को थाहा छ, तर Bangalore मा चाहिँ schooling कस्तो थियो?
Bangalore मा अब British style को हो त्यहाँ चाहिँ पढाइ चाहिँ, हैन. आजकल चाहिँ अलि चेन्ज भएको छ क्या हो. हामी हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब त्यो yearly नै हुन्थ्यो, yearly education नै हुन्थ्यो, and then 3 years bachelor's program हुन्थ्यो, हैन. अनि 3 years bachelor's program हुन्थ्यो. So yeah, I mean, like we had to take like 8 to 9 subjects each semester, each year for 3 years, right?
पढाउने स्टाइल पनि नेपाल जस्तै थियो कि?
नेपालको जस्तै थियो, तर अलि रिगरस थियो. नेपाल भन्दा अलि रिगरस थियो, हैन. अनि it was lot of business and how marketing, sales, accounting and finance was my interest. That's where I always did better. And then and then I completed my 3 years there, and then I did some computer course. त्यतिखेर भर्खरै कम्प्युटरहरु एकदमै कोर्सहरु सुरु भएको थियो, Java and all those. So I learned Java and all those, you know, institution and all those, right? अनि त्यतिखेर पनि इन्डियाबाट थुप्रै मान्छेहरु आउँथ्यो के भन्नाले यहाँ काम गर्न US मा, हैन. त्यो त्यहाँ त्यतिखेर त्यो इन्फोसिस विप्रोहरू पनि भर्खरै भर्खरै सुरु भइरहेको थियो and a lot of people would come. I had few friends who had traveled to Korea and other countries as a IT professionals.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was happening then as well. So like it was just starting and booming. So
so तपाईं त्यहाँबाट 3 वर्ष बेंगलोरमा गयो, then you went back to Nepal.
Then I went back to Nepal.
Well, I guess like how did the transition to US happen?
And then like I was thinking, should I go for my MBA in Bangalore or US? And then त्यही सिलसिलामा चाहिँ म USCIS मा गएर अलिकति रिसर्च गर्न थाले कस्तो युनिभर्सिटीहरु के छ भनेर हैन अनि what it takes. And then I did my TOEFL, and then I started applying. अनि त्यही अन्तरालमा दुईटा कलेजमा एडमिसन भयो अनि I chose St. Cloud State University. And then when I applied for my visa, I got my visa to come and study, right? And then that was it. Then
it was 2000 कति मा 2000
यो चाहिँ 2001 मा 2001 मा अनि म US आए. त्यसपछि पहिला चाहिँ म वाशिंगटन DC आए. त्यहाँ मेरो साथीहरु थियो अनि त्यहाँ केही दिन बसेर अनि I went to St. Cloud State University to continue my education.
Wow.
Right.
So त्यति बेला त फर्स्ट टाइमै थियो है हजुर आको US कि was
मेरो फर्स्ट टाइम
थियो.
फर्स्ट टाइम थियो.
So त्यति बेलाको फर्स्ट इम्प्रेसन्स चाहिँ कस्तो थियो?
Right. So like when तिमी नेपालबाट अमेरिका आउने बेलामा you think now you are going to a paradise world त्यतिखेर त्यस्तै सोचिन्थ्यो हैन अनि त्यहाँबाट I came to US. And then अब त्यति बेलासम्म त बेंगलोर जाँदा 48 hours को ट्रेन लिएर जानु पर्थ्यो हैन. And then सानो प्लेन त चढे थिए. For the first time I took a Thai Airlines and it was like wow, it's great, अनि Thai Airlines लिएर आए अनि त्यसपछि and then I was in DC. And then like I was with my friends. सानो इन्सिडेन्ट भन्छु के भयो त्यहाँ हैन मेरो on the third day of my US, I was म साथीहरुसँग घुमेर फर्के अनि त्यसपछि साथीहरु घरमा रहन्छ अनि त्यसपछि बाहिर घुमेर यसो आउँछु भनेर म साँझको 8-9 बजे आथे हैन अनि I was just walking. And then somebody came and asked me, hey, can you take me to the McDonald's? I said, oh no, I don't have time. And then उसले चाहिँ मलाई can you give me $1 भने डलर त दिन सकिहाल्छु कति
र्यान्डम मान्छे आएर सोधे तपाईले
र्यान्डम मान्छे अनि मैले चाहिँ डलर मागे I can give him $1 भनेर मैले वालेट निकालेर डलर दिए हैन. He saw money in my wallet. And then he came behind me. And then he started kind of robbing me. And then he said, I need a $20. And I said, I don't have $20. And then he said, I saw your $20. And then I said, I only have $100. So he took my $109, and then it was my third day in US. And I thought I'm in paradise. And then I mean it's all good, but every place has its own challenges and things. So
what time was it when he did this?
8-9 o'clock in DC. And then I never thought it will happen to me. When I was coming from Nepal to US, my mom was like, be careful with your money and all those. And I told Mom, I'm going to US. I'm not going to India. Don't worry about it. I lived in India for 4 years. Nothing happened. In US on third days, I was like, tricked. So, just funny story. You had a different expectation when you come to US. It's a paradise land, and then you face some challenges, right? So
you went to DC,
DC, wow. And I didn't even knew it will happen. I was so confused. What's going on? But that is one of the this funny incident that I went through when I came to US. The expectation versus reality, right?
So त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ अनि DC मा हुनुभयो, DC बाट अनि उता जानुभयो.
अनि त्यसपछि त्यहाँबाट म मिनेसोटा गएँ. मिनेसोटामा मेरो कलेज थियो, एडमिसन थियो. अनि कलेज गएँ. कलेज जाँदाखेरि पनि हैन अब त्यो पिक्चरहरुमा त पुरा डम रुम पनि एकदमै फिल यस्तो देख्ने हैन. जाँदाखेरि त एउटा बेड मात्रै थियो. सबै कुरा आफूले किन्नु पर्ने रहेछ हैन. अनदर डिसअपोइन्टमेन्ट.
त्यो थाहा थियो तपाईले पहिला गर्दाखेरि
थिएन. अब in the pictures you see like so good dome and all those, but when you came, it's just a bed, and then you have to buy your own stuff and all those. So, but it was okay, but not as expected, but it was all good. अनि त्यसपछि मेरो एजुकेसन सुरु भयो हैन. अब पहिला त म ब्याचलर्समा आएको थिएँ बिजनेस इन्फर्मेसन टेक्नोलोजी गर्छु भनेर. तर when I went there and talked with my dean for MBA, they said I saw other Indian students were also doing MBA, so they said yes, we accept the 3 years bachelor's from India, right? And then oh, why not? Then I get into MBA. So after that, I did my GRE here and got into MBA program, right? अनि एमबिए गर्दाखेरि पनि अनि माई थिङ्किङ वाज आई विल डु अ सिपिए गर्छु भन्ने विचार थियो होइन अनि एमबिए कुड हेभ बिन फिनिस्ड इन 2 years. I stayed 1 year extra and did all my accounting course to do the CPA exam, right? Because I had to fulfill the credits. So अनि त्यो गरेँ अनि त्यसपछि त्यहाँबाट ग्रेजुएट भएँ. I got a job into CPA firm as well. I got a job. I did for some time.
So then were you at this point, did you already have your CPA or CPA dina baki?
No, CPA dina baki. CPA dina baki थियो. अनि CPA firm मा काम पाएँ, but nobody would sponsor you H1B through CPA, right? Then at that time I found my through other friends that there is opportunity in IT and all those where you could get a H1B sponsor and all those, right? So that's how then I got into IT, right? And there was a Technosoft भन्ने company थियो and they would sponsor your H1 and then you could get training on SAP, all those, they would help you as well as they would place you in the SAP projects, right? That's how I got into the and then SAP was so related with my business. I liked it, like in fact, because SAP ma chahi you need more of a functional knowledge. Your accounting and finance knowledge I could apply exactly, right? Exactly त्यमा apply गर्न सक्थे किनभने त्यमा 50% त IT को कन्फिगरेसनहरु त्यो सबै सिस्टम को त्योहरु छ हैन तर I think I would say that 40%, 60% is you have to have that background knowledge of business, right? Because when you are going to the client side, you are talking business, right? Processes and business. त्यो सबैमा कुरा गर्नुपर्छ त्यसलाई कसरी डिजाइन गर्ने कसरी इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्ने त्यो सबै कुरा गर्नुपर्छ हैन so business knowledge did help me, right?
So I guess before we even start talking about SAP Russell career, for viewers, what is SAP?
Oh, okay.
कतिले नथाहा हुन्छ नि हैन हामी त भर्खर कुरा गरेको
right. So certainly SAP को अब full form चाहिँ system application and product in data process analysis भन्छ हैन यो चाहिँ जर्मन सफ्टवेयर हो हैन तर यसको मेन काम चाहिँ ERP भनेको enterprise resource planning भनेको चाहिँ within a company, like all big multinational companies using SAP today, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, GM, Ford, Apple, everybody are using SAP. Even Microsoft uses SAP, a big time user of SAP. So तिनीहरुको enterprise resource planning भनेको चाहिँ all finance activities, right? GL, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset, अनि controlling मा cost center accounting, overhead accounting, product costing, हैन अनि त्यसपछि profitability analysis त्यो सबै गर्न मिल्छ अनि त्यसपछि sales and distribution module पुरै order to cash मान्छेले कोट लिने order लिने त्यो shipment गर्ने delivery गर्ने त्यो सबै सिस्टमबाट गर्न पर्यो नि हैन अनि त्यो सिस्टमबाटै गरिन्छ हैन अनि त्यसपछि inventory management अनि procurement procure to pay भन्छ procure गर्दाखेरि vendor selection देखि लिएर purchase order देखि लिएर goods receipt देखि लिएर हैन invoicing tax calculation and then vendor payments त्यो सबै चाहिँ SAP मा गरिन्छ अनि all human resource benefits everything can be handled within SAP, right? It's a pretty big company, like $352 billion company, huge यो मात्र एउटा company which is like German, which is so big. This is the biggest IT company of Europe, in fact, right? Germany software. That's very popular in US. A lot of multinational company uses, and ठुल्ठुलो companyहरुलाई चाहिँ अब यो multinational हुन्छन् हैन they are throughout the world, and it helps give them the CEO, CFO gets a better view of their company through one application, right? Otherwise, when you go to implement the system, you will see a lot of disintegrated system हुन्छ के उनीहरुको lot of एउटा काम गर्ने एउटा integrated सिस्टमहरु हुन्छ अनि त्यो integrated हुँदैन
For example,
like right now so उनीहरुको HR को अर्कै सिस्टम हुन्छ हैन अनि त्यसपछि इन्भेन्टरी म्यानेज गर्ने अर्कै सिस्टम हुन्छ अनि त्यसपछि फाइनान्स को अर्कै सिस्टम हुन्छ all those are not integrated and it's difficult to for the reporting त्यसको लागि
visibility राम्ररी पाएन
visibility पाउँदैन बिजनेसले हैन अनि त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ SAP हालेपछि everything happens in SAP and processes also smooth हुन्छ lot of manual एक्टिभिटीहरुलाई उले अटोमेट गर्दिन्छ lot of business को त्यो manual processहरुलाई अटोमेट गर्दिन्छ SAP ले हैन अनि it's a lot help I mean when I go and talk with like my business clients एउटा CFO सँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ SAP is like expensive also right when I talked with her she's like oh but I cannot do my business without a good ERP system CFO controllerहरुलाई त उनीहरुलाई त real time reporting चाहिन्छ real time डाटाहरु चाहिन्छ हैन त्यो सबै चाहिँ SAP बाट आउँछ के and so they are pretty happy with the SAP software.
When do these companies need to implement
SAP
or just the ERP system? Because
right
because the technical go but then I'm curious.
No sure so के हुन्छ भनेदेखि चाहिँ हैन अब जस्तै right now I'm working in one client where they have a another QAD भन्ने system छ हैन that does finance and all those and their sales happen in different system website बाट सेल गर्छ अथवा अर्को सिस्टम बाट सेल गर्छ हैन अनि उनीहरुको बिलिङ अर्कै सिस्टम बाट हुन्छ and they are not integrated and people are manually entering data in this system and then this system and this system so data mismatch huncha and all those now with SAP will talk to those system as well but SAP will give them a much better process within the system where you can start from quote sales order and त्यसपछि delivery and then delivery मा पनि अब त्यो freight हरु त्यो सबै एकदमै सबै SAP ले ह्यान्डल गर्छ के अनि त्यसपछि billing हैन billing पनि centralized हुन्छ and then with all those financials happens real time right financials happen real time for each movement they can see what's going on कुन इन्भेन्टरी चाहियो अनि MRP क्याल्कुलेसन गर्छ SAP ले हैन जस्तै डिपेन्डिङ अन कुनै मटेरियल हरु जुन प्रोडक्सन लाई चाहिन्छ उनीहरुको इन्भेन्टरी कम हुने बित्तिकै त्यो MRP नाइटली MRP ले थाहा पाइहाल्छ अब यो मटेरियल अर्डर गर्नु पर्यो भनेर अनि उसैले आफैले अर्डर बनाइदिन्छ MRP बाट automatically and then there are some human intervention but you can automate all those so that all your operations can be
run smoothly
run
you say SAP भयो that's when companies use SAP so हजुरको day in the life चाहिँ कस्तो देख्छ यो काममा
यो day in the life चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ
बिहानदेखि रातिसम्म so every time हजुरलाई कल गर्ने बेला or हामी कुरा गर्ने बेलामा you're always traveling most of the time
right right
अनि unexpectedly travel पनि गर्नु भएको so like तपाईँको day in the life चाहिँ as a SAP consultant like what does that look like
right so SAP consultant मा चाहिँ अब प्रोजेक्ट हेरिकन हुन्छ प्राय सो हैन अझ यो कोभिड भन्दा पहिला त एकदमै धेरै ट्राभल गर्नु you would have been traveling every week but now that has gone a little down and with the technology and all those you can work remotely and all those right which is possible तर मेरो इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन हुन्छ मेरो चाहिँ इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन प्रोजेक्ट हो सपोर्टहरु पनि हुन्छ मैले चाहिँ इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्छु हैन अब हाम्रो चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने अहिले चाहिँ अब कतिवटा प्रोसेसहरु चेन्ज भइसकेको छ हैन पहिला चाहिँ अब वाटरफल भन्ने हुन्थ्यो अहिले चाहिँ अजाइल मेथोडोलोजीहरु युज गर्छ हैन इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नलाई प्रोजेक्ट अनि मेरो फंक्सन चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ फाइनान्स एन्ड कन्ट्रोलिङ र प्रोडक्ट कस्टिङ एन्ड रिपोर्टिङ त्यो सबै इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नुपर्छ हैन तर हाम्रो कसरी सुरु हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले सुरुमा क्लाइन्टका जाने उनीहरुको ग्याप फिट ग्याप एनालाइसिस गर्ने उनीहरुको के प्रोसेस छ त्यो प्रोसेसमा के हामीले SAP मा इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्न सक्छ के सक्दैन कुन ग्याप हुन्छ कुनलाई इन्हान्समेन्ट गर्नुपर्छ स्ट्यान्डर्ड SAP ले हुँदैन we try to fit them into standard SAP as much as possible because there is a long term benefit right किनभने SAP त इभोल्भ भइरा हुन्छ and then when you upgrade your system if you customize a lot then it is difficult to get all the new development that SAP is doing right so we try to give them a standard solution as much as possible but there are there are reason why we have to enhance right for every business is different right and these multinational business has their own business processes and all those, so we have to modify few things, right? अनि मेरो काम के हुन्छ फिट टु ग्याप एनालाइसिस गर्ने बिजनेससँग कुरा गर्ने उनीहरूको बिजनेस प्रोसेसेसहरू अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड गर्ने अनि त्यो बिजनेस प्रोसेसहरूमध्ये के स्ट्यान्डर्ड एसएपीमा गर्न सकिन्छ के गर्न सकिँदैन कतिवटा सिस्टमसँग इन्टरफेस गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ हामीले किनभने राइट नाउ द क्लाइन्ट आई एम वर्किङ अन एसएपी डज अल द बिलिङ एन्ड अल द सबै गर्छ होइन तर तिनीहरूको बिजनेस फङ्सनलाई चाहिँ एप्रोप्रिएट भएन किनभने तिनीहरूले चाहिँ बिलिङ इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीलाई गर्छ कि उनीहरूले चाहिँ उनीहरूको प्रडक्ट चाहिँ मोस्टली त्यो डिसेबल बच्चाहरूको लागि छ होइन उनीहरूले चाहिँ त्यो आइप्याडहरूमा चाहिँ इन्हान्स गरेर चाहिँ डिसेबलहरूले बोल्न मिल्ने सफ्टवेयर हालेर बेच्छ क्या उनीहरूले अनि अब उनीहरूको चाहिँ बिलिङ सबै त्यो इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूलाई गर्नुपर्ने भएर त्यो एसएपीबाट बिलिङ नमिल्ने भयो उनीहरूको अर्को थर्ड पार्टी सिस्टमबाट नै बिलिङ गर्नुपर्ने भयो त्यो इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूलाई होइन तर दे निड एसएपी फर देयर फाइनेन्सियल्स अपरेसन एन्ड अल दोजको लागि एसएपी चाहिन्छ होइन अब यो एसएपी र त्यो थर्ड पार्टीलाई हामीले इन्टिग्रेट गर्न लाग्छ अब
त्यो चाहिँ इन्टिग्रेसन भयो त्यो पनि एसएपी भित्रै गइसकेपछि चाहिँ फुल
राइट डाटा चाहिँ सबै किनभने बिलिङ त्यहाँबाट हुन्छ तर रिसिभेबल फाइनेन्स सबै चाहिँ फेरि एसएपीमा चल्छ हैन जनरल लेजर अकाउन्ट्स पेबल अकाउन्ट्स रिसिभेबल इन्भेन्ट्री म्यानेजमेन्ट सबै चाहिँ अब त्यो एसएपी हुन्छ प्रोडक्सन प्लानिङ उनीहरूको प्रोडक्सनको सबै काम चाहिँ एसएपीमा हुन्छ तर बिलिङ चाहिँ अब त्यो एसएपीले ह्यान्डल गर्न नसक्ने भयो उनीहरूको बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेन्ट एसएपीले ह्यान्डल गर्न नसक्नेपछि दे ह्याभ टु युज द्याट बिलिङ सफ्टवेयर राइट बट वी आर ट्राइङ टु सी हाउ मच वी क्यान इन्टिग्रेट सो द्याट all the manual work can be automated, right? So we are working on that right now.
And right? Is the project or is it typically how long are they?
This one is 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah, this will go for 1 year. That's right. This will go for 1 year. But these days they can do. They have been doing expedite 6 month, 8 month implementation also. But this company specifically wanted 1 year timeline because of their business need, and then they know there are few challenging interface we have to do. So based on all those, this project is gonna go for 1 year.
So usually when you're working on this project, consultant are there going to be other consultants working on this as well? Like team
right. So I have worked in projects where like there were 50 consultants, there were 40 consultants. Wow. This one has like around 13 to 15 consultants, I think, in total, because it needs a lot to implement the ERP system for billion-dollar companies, right? So our multi finance and controlling here too, and त्यसपछि त्यहाँ procurement and inventory management हेर्ने अर्को छ प्रोडक्सन प्लानिङ गर्ने अर्को मान्छे छ अनि एचआर को पार्ट गर्ने अर्को मान्छे छ अनि प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर छ अनि डेभलपर कोडिङ गर्ने त्यो स्ट्यान्डर्ड एसएपी ले गर्न सकेन भने व्हाट एभर वी हैव टु इन्हान्स वी नीड अ डेभलपर राइट एन्ड फर दैट त्यो कोडिङ गर्ने मान्छे छुट्टै हुन्छ हैन अनि त्यसपछि त्यसरी अब
वाउ सो तपाई basically you've worked in different projects and kunema 50 jana kunema 40 jana kunema 13 14 right so the first thing that comes to my mind is also like you've worked with mid to large scale teams
yes
अनि सबै जना अब कोर्डिनेट गर्नु पर्यो नि त अब based on your experience you how can someone work good in a team setting like what's
Right. It's a challenge, and like coordinating in a team and keeping with the right timeline and making sure the integrated part are done correctly. We are communicating as a team and we are pushing. That's why project manager आर्के हुन्छ उले चाहिँ सबै ट्र्याक गर्छ हैन उले चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट ट्र्याक गर्छ उ चाहिँ टेक्निकल मान्छे हुँदैन कोही टेक्निकल हुन्छ तर उ टेक्निकल हुँदैन अनि and he tracks the overall project. प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर हुन्छ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजरको माथि अर्को अब डाइरेक्टर अफ उले जोले क्लाइन्टलाई पुरै हेरेर हुन्छ उ हुन्छ अनि म चाहिँ डाइरेक्टर अफ फाइनान्स एन्ड कन्ट्रोलिङ मेरो चाहिँ फाइनान्स एन्ड कन्ट्रोलिङमै यति धेरै काम हुन्छ के अब म एक्लैले सक्दिनँ मलाई एउटा अफसोर रिसोर्स मान्छे पनि दिएको छ हैन किनभने इट्स अ लट एन्ड देन अफसोर कोले पनि हेल्प गर्छ मलाई आई डेडिकेट वर्क टु हिम एन्ड अल दोज राइट अनि त्यसरी इम्प्लिमेन्ट हुन्छ अझ ठुल्ठुलो कम्पनी अझ यो त सानो क्लाइन्ट हो हैन ठुल्ठुलोमा त 40-50 जनाको टिम पनि जान्छ इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्न
सो अहिलेसम्म हजुरले टोटलमा यसो टेन्टेटिभली कतिवटा प्रोजेक्ट
प्रोजेक्ट त थुप्रै गरेँ हैन थुप्रै क्लाइन्टहरुकोमा काम गरेँ आई थिंक इट्स 10-12 but one company I stayed for 12 years I worked for there for 12 years right which means in Boston Charles River Laboratories I was there for 12 plus years in that also the company when I got into the company they had a one footprint in Europe UK and then Canada and US but after I went there we implemented in all European countries Germany France Italy Holland more companies in UK Ireland all those companies are like saying we brought into SAP right
were you traveling
yeah I was traveling then
really
I traveled to all those countries and help them with the implement. We did a lot of work from US but we had to go there to do the business requirement as well as when we are doing a user acceptance testing and then conversion and all those that demands us to be there right it's much more easier when we are there working with them so I was lucky to get to travel all those countries in Europe as part of my project implementation
so
yeah in SAP like if you are in SAP you will definitely get chance to travel around the world because that's the nature of the software because all the multinational companies uses it so it's their footprint are all Europe Asia all world, and all those
so हजुरको most memorable projects like कुन भएको छ अनि why it could be good it could be bad but also most memorable project चाहिँ कुन भएको छ अनि why
right recently अब म 12 वर्ष त त्यही कम्पनीसँग थिए हैन recently I
20 years को उसमा सबभन्दा most memorable
I think it was Charles River Laboratories I was there for 12 years did implementation for all the different European countries a lot of enhancement so that like I think it was Charles River it was a lot of fun as well I liked working there that's why I was there for 12 and a half years but like in US nothing is guaranteed in another sense after 12 years of work the company was doing good during COVID they went from like $8 billion company to $23 billion company right at that time with the COVID all the research and all those because that company helped all the pharmaceutical company and all universities were their customer because they sell research model for all the pharmaceutical company research model त्यो मुसाहरु हुन्छ नि के रे स्पेसिफिक जिन को त्यस्तो बनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ कि उनीहरुले बनाएर दिन्छ के ल्याब प्रोडक्टहरु अनि they also do a preclinical studies all studies before the drugs goes into human when it goes to human then pharmaceutical company take over to do it right so our company worked on all the three main COVID vaccine right all three COVID vaccine मा पनि काम गर्यो उनीहरुले and we
all three COVID vaccines भन्नाले
त्यो मोडर्ना लाई पनि मोडर्ना फाइजर र त्यो को थियो रे मोडर्ना फाइजर र अर्को पनि एउटा थियो
के थियो एउटा we'll come back to this but anyways
but our company did because building a medicine is a long process right typically long process like could take 4 years 5 years right and then a lot of things is done by a lot of companies so my companies also did some part of the research and handed over to them and then they took over other research right it's a long process a lot of company works on it as a drug development right so so company was doing really well like $22 billion company but for last 2-3 years I mean the whole biomed has been hit hard right you know that right Moderna used to जब COVID आयो Moderna sucked up all the research student and there was scarcity of student now everybody has been let go there is
no more COVID
there is like challenges in biomed to get the job and all those right so my company also got hit and then there were layoffs right and then they lay off like 1,000 people or so in which
1,000 people
yeah and in which I was one of them and then initially I was like scared like oh what's gonna happen and all those but my experience is you don't need to worry at all within 2 months I got 3 job offers right and then I switched to this Answer Think now, which is part of Hackett Group, and then Answer Think is the ERP implementing company. So I'm working with it. I mean, as long as you have in US, you know, like that's the way it works, right? If the company doesn't do, they have to let go employee and all those, which is all part of life here.
So you layoff ko baare mein alikati kura garum na.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people that might go through this. There has been a lot of people that probably have gone through this. So हजुरको चाहिँ personal experience कस्तो थियो त्यो सुन्दाखेरि अनि just navigating through the challenge त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो थियो अनि mindset चाहिँ हुन्छ नि ठ्याक्कै त्यो हुँदाखेरि how are you feeling भइसकेपछि अनि once you navigated through it what you realized about the layoff.
No, I think it was unexpected and surprising for sure, you know, like because I was working on a lot of projects. I was handling a lot of projects. They're still going on, you know, like, and I was director of finance and controlling, and a lot of project was going under me. And then I was not expecting, but then 1 month before or something, they were starting to talk about, right? And then some department were doing bad, but the CEO said, everybody needs to lay off, all the departments, right? Because he wanted to balance, and then after it's all a game of number. Right? It's nothing to do with the performance.
But you were making too much money.
I mean, like I was making decent. That's for sure. And then they start looking at number. And then they quite a bit of my department also was let go. And then initially it came as a shock, like, oh my goodness, you know, like I have my mortgage to pay, I have my kids just going to school and all those, you know, it was definitely, you know, a little bit of a shocking. And then it took me, I mean, we started looking and all those. In 2 months, I got 3 job offer, but that 2 months was definitely a little scary. But now I say to the people, as long as you have a skill, don't worry at all. You know, it's part of life. Don't worry at all. As long as you have a skill, you'll get it, right? So I got 3 job offer. And then when they laid me off, they gave me 6-month package, right? 6 month, same salary. So you still get 6 months salary.
So you're still...
Right. We were getting 6 month salary. It depends, you know, how long you have worked. I worked for 12 years. So, you know, I made a little 6 months. So 6 months, same salary, nothing changed. You get the same insurance and everything. And in 2 months, I got a job. So for like 3 months, I made a double salary. You know, obviously, it worked out better, right? But I think now I can say that, right? But when you get a layoff, it's a scary part, right? Now, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do that? I even lost sleep for a few days. Okay. now I can sit and laugh at it, but you know, like it was a little, But my suggestion to people is don't get scared. You know, as long as you have a skill, somebody will recognize it. Somebody will recognize it, and you'll get there, right? And then because after my layoff, after 4 months, they did another round of layoff in my company, Charles River Laboratories. And other people were calling me, oh man, what happened? We got laid off as well, right? And my suggestion to them were, don't worry, you'll get it. Don't worry, you know. I got 3 offer in like 2 months, so don't worry about it, right? So, I mean, in America, it is scary. I have seen people have not got, some field people have not got for 1 year job. Wow. I've seen few people, but I mean, as long as you have a good skill and good knowledge and all those working skill, you'll get it, right? So I think we have to take it as a part of American life and culture and all those. It will come, but I think I was not prepared. I will at least say, you know, prepare for it, right? Prepare thinking it could happen. It could happen to you as well, right? They were prepare.
Wow.
And I think if you can start something on a side hustle and all those, which is always good, you know, that will give you some cushion, right? So yeah, but otherwise, you know,
crazy story.
The job, I mean, like, is never like fully secured. You know, it's you could always hit with the layoff and all those, which is difficult for the families, you know, and there is like mortgage to pay, kids to raise, kids.
Bauzuko reaction was there.
Bauzuko. I mean, she was more confident on me than I was, because she said, "Oh, don't worry, you'll get the job," and all those. She was like, "It's good, that company was keeping you so busy, always busy. It's good you lost that job." She was more confident than me, and I was scared, but she was like, "Oh, you'll get the job, nothing to worry," and all those, right? So I should believe on myself more now, I think.
20 years.
Exactly.
So 20 years, let's actually talk about this. Also 20 years as a SAP consultant. What are the things that you really like about it, and what are some things that you're not a fan about it?
Okay. Yeah, no, I think I get good thing about it is I get to interact with business, learn the business processes, and give a solution, design the solution, and कति solutionहरु design गरेर दिदा त recently एउटा client को लागि मैले काम गर्दै थिए हैन, they were so happy. म त डाइरेक्टली CEO र CFO सँग काम गरेन त्यो प्रोजेक्टमा, but she reported to her CFO, and when she reported what I did, they were so happy. She gave me a feedback. CEO and CFO are ready to cut the cake after this issue has been resolved, right? And because they were in pain for almost a year with that issue.
Wow.
Right? And then I went there, I resolved that, and then I gave them some reporting and all those, which helped them a lot. They were so excited. So you are like, "Oh, you made our day, our days." So they were very, very happy. So when you see that you are making an impact, and helping business, that gives you a lot of satisfaction and all those. But again, and then the people aspect is a double-edged sword, right? In one way, you enjoy people and talk with them and all those. Another side of the sword is like, there's a lot of politics.
Please, Sundeep, I'm very
right. A lot of politics in corporate America. A lot of there are different team, and then different team want to show that, "Oh, I did this and I did that." We were IT, and then we had a business process team and all those. So there is a lot of politics, and like navigating through people, getting the right expectation and all those are again challenging part of it. Right? Again, human is the challenging part. I mean, technology you can learn and all those and do it. I mean, human is the nice part as well, where you can interact with the people and talk and know and learn and all those. But it's a double-edged sword, right?
So speaking of corporate politics, for people that might not have been in the corporate world yet, or is about to enter it,
Right.
Ajit, what's the craziest corporate politics story you've heard or like seen? It's like, it's the
Right. Yeah, I know. I think
because I personally,
right.
I've worked corporate 1 year, so I haven't seen too much. But मेरो कोही साथीले पनि एकजना 3 years he's worked and उसले भन्न चाहिँ भन्थ्यो. तर अब हजुरले त 20 years मा
I mean, we interact with so many departments, right? Like finance, procurement, inventory, human resource, and all those. And a lot of time, like people are trying to show that, "Oh, I did this. Everybody wants to take a credit, right? And navigating that expectation is challenging for sure. And I was a director, and I had a responsibility of delivering a project and all those, right, from IT front. But I would have other global business process, other business team, and all those, right? So many times people wants to take credit that they did it or their department did it and all those. So you have to go through all the politics. But my focus was, I would give my deliverable and focus on work and all those rather than getting into politics and all those. So,
enjoy the other side of the sword.
Other side of the sword, right? Yeah.
So, also your 20 year career, man. What's been the proudest moment for you?
Proudest moment is I told one of that, right, when you, and then in another company when they were going through like उनीहरुको month end process चाहिँ हैन 5 जना मान्छेले 7 दिन जति काम गर्नुपर्ने हुन्थ्यो के त्यो पुरै reconciliation गर्न त्यो गर्न. And when I got there and I started looking what is the issue, how are the data flowing, how can I automate this, I gave them a solution, right? I gave them a solution where we did some enhancement so that the data from sales system and finance system and payment can be linked, and nightly processing can be done so that all the reconciliation can be cleared out. Any small portion will be left out which human has to go and do that, right? So I automated that, and from 5 people working 7 days, that became 1 person doing in 1 day. The controller was like, wow. He was so impressed. You are like, whoa, man, you did it, man. Time and money ko kura ni 7 days उनीहरुले त्यो reconciliation गर्नुपर्ने हुन्थ्यो हैन. Because they used to sell everything in website, and website मा सानो dollar value को एकदम धेरै sales हुन्थ्यो, अनि payment आउँथ्यो, अनि they were not able to reconcile which payment is for which sales and all those to reconcile पनि गर्न सक्थेन उनीहरुले, and it was a lot of manual work. And when I worked in that controller, I still remember, and I'm like, wow, you made my day, you did it, like this is good. So those are the proud moment, when you are really able to make an impact and give some right solutions and all those, it's really good. And then,
what about like the most challenging aspect to your job?
Challenging aspect is, again, like technology we can figure out. It's a lot of people aspect. Is
people.
Yeah.
So you just came to me. About AI costo it's like everyone's talking about AI. AI is the next thing. So SAP like, does AI incorporate? Does AI impact it? Like, what does it look in terms of that?
I think in my area, I have not seen a direct AI impact yet, right? I mean, I don't know in long run where it will go, what will be the direction and all those. But SAP they are trying to automate things on the administration side, basis side, and all those AI automation. They are working. There are solutions. Tara mero functional side ma I have not seen that, right? And when I talked with my directors and all those, saying that, hey, what do you think? How much impact? They are saying like minimal for now. We will continue as a consulting, and we will be implementing, because we have to talk with business, understand their business processes, and turn that into system solutions, right? I doubt how AI can do that, right? I mean, it will streamline. 4 consultant maybe 2 consultant or 1 consultant could do it with some help, but I have not seen impact. I have not used AI to implement SAP as of now, right? And I don't think there is any tool or AI that can implement SAP in that manner. So I have not seen, like.
So at this point, I don't know how long we've been talking. The SAP full cover we've talked about what the day in the life looks like, just different aspects to it, right? So for someone who might want to get into being an SAP consultant or something, so who would be an ideal fit for this role?
Right. So
and who would not be a good fit for this role?
I mean, in fact, in SAP, I have seen all different colleagues come from all the different background. Okay, म काम गर्ने कम्पनीमा एकजना चाहिँ न्युक्लियर साइन्समा मास्टर्स गरेको केटा थियो, but he came into SAP. Right? So a lot of engineers come into SAP, and all the diverse people could come into SAP as such, right? And functional knowledge is important. Finance and controlling finance and controlling background it helps a lot, right? But other than that, like sales and distribution, procurement, inventory, HR, and all those, all the different people can come, right? And then they have to learn the functional aspect and processes and all those, because I mean, हामी SAP मा इन्टर गर्ने अब SAP को अब डाइरेक्ट कोर्स भन्नाले कलेज कोर्सहरु त छैन हैन. I think there is one university in Michigan State University, which teaches you SAP, right? That's what I have heard so far. But otherwise, all the different background people can still do SAP by learning the processes and system and configuration and all those. but your education will help you because it needs a lot of analytical thinking, design, solution, and all those, right? So any background of engineering or business and all those will help you for sure. I don't think many of the universities are offering that, but there is a lot of opportunity and potential still, right? Because like I said, in 2 months I was able to get 3 decent job, right? Offer. So still SAP is growing. I was looking a few days back. SAP has, even SAP as a company has grown tremendously. Like it used to be like $120 billion company for a long time, but right now it is $352 billion company, right? So they have a lot of scope, a lot of job, still a lot of, and in consulting, I mean, you get paid decent, it's good, you get to interact with people, you get to travel, if you enjoy traveling and all those, right? And in SAP, once you know it, you'll be mostly working with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and a lot to learn. I mean, still, I don't know all aspect of SAP, right? I know the integration point with all the different modules, and I know the finance, but still there is a lot to learn, and technology is changing so fast, right? Technology is changing. ECC, but S4 ma has a lot of changes as well. Even though the many of the background thing are similar, but it is evolving. It is evolving. They are trying to incorporate automation as much as possible, right? And they are working to see how they can utilize AI and all those, but it is not there yet. I think our functional work will always be there because we have to talk with the business, understand their business process, map their business process, design it, implement it, and all those. So, but SAP ma aunako लागि testo restriction chaina. If you are interested on consulting job and implementing system SAP, I mean, any field, as long as you have an analytical thinking, analytical, critical thinking, and solution designing, and all those interest, you can get into SAP.
हजुरले हायर पनि गर्नु भएको छ कि
मैले हायर पनि गर्थे म I mean I was director of SAP Finance and Controlling in Charles River, so I used to hire. I had like 8 to 10 people under me, and I think 5-6 were US and some were in India and all those. So I used to do the hiring also.
You hiring को कुरामा, right? अब कोही मान्छे, for the viewers, कोही ठ्याक्कै like let's say SAP मा छिर्न खोजिरहेछ, and they're going through the hiring process. Right. Hiring manager ko vision or view ma chahi, what stands out that you would go like, oh, or like what should those candidates do to stand out?
Right. So I think it's अब beginnerहरुको लागि चाहिँ अब I think they have to show their analytical skill, right? Analytical skill and design skill and process skill and all those what they have gained from their university, right? And mostly process related हुन्छ यसमा चाहिँ हैन. अब सबै order to cash भन्छ, procure to pay भन्छ, record to report भन्छ हैन. So process oriented हुन्छ यसमा चाहिँ सबै business process oriented हुन्छ हैन. If you are good on like supply chain ko processहरू, if you I think you'll learn in the school as well, business school as well, right? All the supply chain processes kasari huncha त्यो सबै process, as long as you have all those process knowledges, then you can learn the system as well, right? And get into the SAP world as such, right? Yeah.
Well, Ajit bhai,
sure.
We're moving towards the end of the podcast.
Sure.
I know.
Sure.
So, I
mean, if anyone is interested to get into SAP, they can be in touch with me, and then I can guide them.
Also, what I can do is I can put your LinkedIn in the bio as well.
Yes, certainly.
But if you also LinkedIn overflow,
no, I'm here to help. I would enjoy helping people. I have helped many people as well, and then I would love to help people. Yeah.
That's amazing. Sure. On that note, what's one piece of advice or a couple of pieces of advice that you give to the people that's watching? It could be not just SAP, but some experience, accumulate
right.
Your experience, but I'd say, what's one piece of advice or a couple of pieces of advice you'd give? to the viewers?
Right. I think I would say, like, do the right thing, like focus on your study and your passion and all those. Somebody will recognize your talent. Don't worry. There could be a time lag, sometime it could take little time, but as long as you have a skill and knowledge that you have built, somebody will definitely recognize it, right? That's how I see it. There was a friend of mine who didn't have a good job for a certain period, but he has a knowledge and everything, and then he got hired in Apple, right? So
wow.
Until then, you don't know, who is going to recognize your talent, right? So I think as long as you are building your skill, don't worry. Somewhere you will be recognized for sure. That's wow. What I would say.
So on the flip side, if there's one thing you would, not a regret, but one thing that you would change or do differently in your 20 years journey, what would it be?
Career?
Career or like just in general. If you were to go back in time and change one thing, what would it be?
I think, I got, I enjoyed working, and then, I got too much indulged in working. I think we should have a mindset where my knowledge, how can I change my knowledge into a business, right? I think start thinking from the beginning, so that you can turn that into business. It's not easy, I know. It takes some extra dedication and all those, but if I could go back, I would try to, and there are many people who have turned their SAP skills into business and build a big consulting company and all those, right? So I think that's one area I kind of think I should have done, but I mean, once in America, my job is like something like just to keep you alive and right, all those. I mean, I make decent money and all those, but I think start thinking whatever skill set you are in, how you can turn it into a business, right? Then you can do it, you can grow it and all those, right? I think that would be my thing. If I could go back, I would do that, right?
So Kotizana, I feel like when they hear business, they might be scared or.
Yeah, no, I think scared just you have to take your time. Don't get disappointed, right? It will take time, and then you'll see ups and downs, but that's what shapes you, right? Your ups and downs will shapes you and get you through, right? So I think, if you aspire for it, you can do it. Wow, yeah, for sure.
And Ajit bhai, that's a wrap.
Thank you very much.
So much for coming. First question. One thing you miss the most about Nepal?
Nepal ko most miss गर्ने भन्दा चाहिँ being in US, I missed all the events of my nephews, niece, and families and all those festivals. So I miss that, the family and all the events, and also I could not go to many niece and nephews' marriages. So and then my mom is there, she's like 80 years old. I mean, अब मेरो कर्मभूमि त यहाँ अमेरिकामा हो हैन, काम गर्नु पर्यो, मेरो आफ्नो फ्यामिली चाहिँ सबै छ, but I miss the family aspect of Nepal.
One Nepali food you love but it's hard to find in the US?
One Nepali food that I love, and I think I love, like dhido. When I go to Nepal, I try to find a dhido, and because that is the most, I think it's most healthy, as well as it keeps me fulfilling, and then it's good. So I love dhido. When I go to Nepal, I find a restaurant where I can eat dhido. So I mean, बच्चामा चाहिँ राइस पाएन भन्ने, अहिले चाहिँ ढिडो पाएन भन्ने.
मेरो first podcast was with साथी हो नि, he gave the same answer, ढिडो.
Okay.
Since we're talking about food, best Nepali restaurant in Boston for you?
I think I like the Himalayan curry in Naswa. I go there sometime, and I like their food. Yeah.
So favorite Nepali festival to celebrate in the US?
I think two. Holi, because my kids like Holi, because it's all color splashing and all those, right? They can play with the color and put color on others and all those. So my kids love it as well, and I do. And then obviously Dasai, where we all family are together and celebrating, right?
So if your friends or family ever visited you in Boston, what's the first place you take them to?
First place I would take...
SAP office time, no?
I think I would take them to Cambridge, you know, like Cambridge, I think most of the people would like to see the Harvard. Everybody knows Harvard. They want to go see Harvard and MIT. So I typically take people to, you know, if they are coming for a short visit, at least make sure they see Harvard and MIT and the colleges around, because Boston is famous for colleges, right? So that's what I would
that is true, right? The most amount of colleges in a city. So favorite Nepali song at the moment?
Favorite Nepali song, मलाई चाहिँ त्यो आनीको फुलको आँखामा भन्ने गाना चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ मन पर्छ एकदमै. फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार.
त्यो throwback song है भयो है तर.
Hit song हैन. That's one of the best song I like.
So Ajit bhai, last question to wrap it up.
Sure.
First Nepali word or phrase you would teach your non-Nepali friends.
Okay.
Namaste bhai.
Namaste bhai. Namaste bhai. के भन्छु आफ्नो साथीहरुलाई?
No swear words too.
No swear words too. कस्तो छ how are you doing भनेर भन्न सिकाउँछ हैन. मेरो छोरालाई पनि त्यही कस्तो छ राम्रो छ भन्छ हैन. छोराले I think त्यही हो कस्तो छ भनेर सोध्छ हैन. Right. And most of the time when I say I'm from Nepal, people ask me, "Oh, have you climbed my Mount Everest?" No, it doesn't work that way, because it takes a lot of training to go to Mount Everest.
It's like, it's the funny school ma aउँदाखेरि पनि सबै त्यही भन्थे ए Mount Everest. And I was like, oh, अब कति सुने हैन. And I was like, climb चाहिँ गरेको छैन तर म morning walk चाहिँ त्यही नै हो every day because I live right there भन्दै. Who knows? I was like, no,
right,
of course not.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I have not even got chance to go to base camp. I wish to go, but you know, like people think I have climbed Mount Everest when I say I'm from Nepal.
Wow.
Right.
So if you guys want other guests like Ajit Bhai to share their experiences and stories with you all, please
like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah.